Are you dying to engage your students in academic literacies? Is there a gap in your classroom between mainstream and ELL students? If you have nodded your head yes to the following question, then this book by Maria Estela Brisk is the perfect resource for you, engaging students in academic literacies. The book details the perfect approach to teaching writing based on systemic functional linguistics that will expand students' knowledge of a variety of genres across multiple disciplines.
It can even be used across urban and suburban schools in grades K through 5. Wow!
In this informational and interactive book, you will see how Brisk supports the idea that students should build on their native language to learn standardized English so their linguistic and cultural backgrounds are not diminished. Students' language is preserved because of the systemic functional linguistics. Systemic functional linguistics, or SFL, is the relationship between language and its function in social settings. There are 3 metafunctions of SFL. These include ideational, interpersonal, and textual. Ideational is the experiential and logical functions of language. Interpersonal enables language users to interact with each other, and textual is used when creating an oral, written, or multimodal message.
You can learn so many different techniques with the purchase of this book. Brisk will discuss the approach to writing known as the teaching and learning cycle, which strengthens the student's syntax. The TLC incorporates building background knowledge, modeling, guided practice, and independent practice to support students' writing. Using TLC is critical when teaching writing, so students understand the language necessary across each discipline. To add on to the wonderful TLC, Brisk loves that writing is a process. If you like to teach your students that writing is a process, don't move from your seat. Brisk discusses that students will produce their best writing when teachers take time to teach and implement the writing process. By engaging in the writing process, students are able to develop necessary language to produce sentences and write knowledgeably about different content areas.
Speaking of teaching our students the correct language, Brisk discusses the large achievement gap between ELL and mainstream students. If you have ELL students in your classroom, Brisk offers many suggestions and techniques to bridge the gap so all students perform at the same level. Brisk explains how ELL students may have very different expectations of writing as they come from various cultures. That being said, it is emphasized in the book that it is important to always be cognizant of cultural differences when teaching in a classroom. All cultures have different forms of communication, different values, and different native languages. When the teacher is aware of these differences, they are able to specialize their lessons and teach toward the needs of ELL students.
This book is unique because it shows the importance of its resources by explaining and illustrating for teachers to understand the needs of ESL learners to structure their writing. Brisk provides a sufficient background to understand the feature of each genre that the students require to develop. In addition, she asserts her goal to help ESL learners to overcome their obstacles that they are facing as they learn their second language. She walks you through her experience by stating examples that most of the students fail to apply the correct form of grammar. Brisk lists all the common mistakes that students make and includes strategies teachers may use when teaching ESL students.
Using this approach, you'll be able to teach so many genres of writing to students of all levels: ELL students, proficient writers, and emerging writers, procedures, recounts, reports, explanations, arguments, and fictional narratives.
Brisk breaks down the barriers of each genre by focusing on the stages of the learning cycle. Like we said, there's building background knowledge, modeling, guided practice, and independent practice. But how do each of these fit into so many different genres of writing? Here's how.
Brisk says the first step is to build background knowledge. Look at resources that are an educational and obvious example of the genre. Look at books that are similar to the subject you want them to practice: history or science or math. Maybe a report on deserts or jungle cats. Show them the academic language used in those reports and explanations. Next, give them a medium. Tailor your medium to the grade level you are working with. Posters and picture books are good for preschool and kindergartners, but 1st through 5th grade can start working on group posters, brochures, or informational books to write their reports.
Then, just as Brisk describes in her teaching and learning cycle, we apply this to reports. Build that content knowledge and teach them to research. Then, use their uncoached writing to create mini lessons and graphic organizers. Teach children what separates reports and explanations from other genres. For example, reports present succinct and organized information about a topic or classification of something, and is always written in third person. Explanations present how or why something happened or how something works, in an equally and sequential professional way. There are many other distinctions that you can teach any age group using TLC and Brist's thorough breakdown of each genre. Next, look at your audience. Children may see the audience as just within the classroom, but working with reports and explanations shows children how broadly their work can be seen. They can write to inform more than just their classroom. Once their audience has been adjusted to serve the purpose of the piece, they will begin to feel more confident as writers. Lastly, it is important to take time to work through reports and explanations as an educator. They are different and require different skills, but Brisk mentions that it is important to teach reports as a prerequisite to teaching explanations, and that any child can be an expert in both of them.
Speaking of genres, you are probably wondering, what the heck is a procedure genre anyway? The purpose of the procedure is to give directions to accomplish a goal, which we all love to do and do all the time. All schools should plan to teach procedures throughout all grades. It is a fun genre because it involves making things. You can include crafts, recipes, and science experiments, things that children love to create. This is a great genre for K-2 students because children love to make crafts and recipes, but most importantly, it keeps them engaged. Science experiments and even math can be great for grades 3 to 5. A procedure unit can carry on for 3 to 4 weeks. This is a fun unit to implement because the students can connect with engaging, hands-on activities that will help with vocabulary and a wide variety of topics. Also, remember that the language when creating a procedure has to be precise and specific in order to produce clear and accurate instructions. Because there is often no teaching of content knowledge in procedure writing, the academic language is built simultaneously with teaching how to write procedures. Now, we are going to give you a brief example of how you could implement this in your classroom.
Have students write an uncoached piece using a prompt, for example, how to build a snowman or how to make a PB&J sandwich. Afterwards, analyze the pieces using the analysis of student work form, which Brisk provides in the book at the end of chapter resources. This helps identify what students can already do and what their challenges may be.
Another genre is historical recounts. This works with our middle school to high school age students. All genres have their purpose to recount the past, whether it is a personal experience or an event from history. Again, we can make this fun regardless of how old our students are. In this book, Brisk will show how teachers can coach our ELL students. We can't emphasize enough how much this book will assist our teachers.
Let me ask you another question. Are you struggling with teaching young writers the tough genre of argumentative writing? No problem. Brisk has many solutions and innovative ideas to make arguments fun. Do you teach grades K through 3? How about having students make travel brochures or websites as their format for making an argument, and they can persuade potential travelers why their travel destination is the best. This is a good way for young students to learn and practice providing evidence and using persuasive language. But you might ask, what about older students? Are they struggling writing argumentative essays? One great idea Brisk mentions is to engage students in oral argumentation before writing, in order to give the students multiple exposures and practice using persuasive dialogue. Turn your students into lawyers and have them make their claims and try to persuade their jury of peers. There is truly nothing like learning how to support claims, provide evidence, and reinforce their position while having fun.
But wait, there's more! Call now and you'll receive the extra special limited edition bonus chapter on fictional narrative writing.
In this extra special edition bonus chapter, Brisk gives great insights to how to teach fictional narrative writing. While Brisk gives many lesson ideas and techniques, the most important aspect she discusses regarding this genre is that this type of writing can use topics and themes explored in other content areas. Brisk says this practice will reinforce what students have learned in other content areas and mirror what real novelists do. Talk about a successful approach to cross-curricular integration. Wow!
And we all know you're definitely wondering, so what? The content of this book will allow practitioners to enhance their existing knowledge of writing and language to create a rich school environment where children learn, enjoy writing, and sharing their work. You do not want to miss out on this amazing offer.
Call now to receive this special offer for just 3 easy payments of $19.99. This book could be yours. Operators are standing by.